dreaming. My weariness amazes me. I'm grounded on my feet. I have no one to meet, and the ancient empty streets too dead for dreaming. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there is no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I come following you. Hey, Drue James here from LearnGuitarInLondon.com. I'm playing Mr Tambourine Man by Bob Dylan. Really great song for beginners. It's just got 4 chords. Get that capo, stick it on fret 3. I'm going to take you through the rhythm pattern. The rhythm pattern is really what brings it alive, so I'll be showing you a rhythm pattern that has this kind of little extra percussive element to it that you'll see. And anyway, let's just get stuck into it, have a look at both hands and get on with it. Okay, so this song is really simple. It's really good for people that are starting on their journey with sing and play as well. I'll show you a slightly easier way to do the rhythm so that you can have a go at singing it. And it's just a lot of fun. So chords. Now, for it to sound just like the way Dylan does it, you need to grab a capo and stick it on fret 3. You can see actually in the camera preview here that like I'm not, you know, my capo's here, fret 3, right? The other thing, Dylan, technically he takes the E string and he puts it down to the key of D. And that is what's on the recording. And it does sound epic, it does sound really good, but I'm keeping it more like you can't be bothered with that. And you just want to stick in standard tuning and play these chords that you know and love like really well. So the chords, we have four chords on the truth. We've got a G. Now I like to do this as the folk G, so that would be a 4-fingered G, so index finger on fret 2 on the A string, middle finger on fret 3 on the E, and ring and pinky and a little wedge on frets on the B and the E string. I call the strings Eddie 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie, EADGBE. For that chord you strum all 6, so that's your G chord. Your A chord is next. Now I prefer, especially for all beginners, to use these fingers. So that's pinky finger on fret 2 on the B string, ring finger on fret 2 on the G, and middle finger on fret 2 also on the D string. Now because we've got the capo here, the frets are even smaller still. So to be able to squeeze all our fingers in is really important. Now you may see people playing A this way, and I personally think that it's harder to squeeze all the fingers in, first of all. On top of that, it's good for boosting the sort of the ring finger, but being a beginner, a lot of times the ring and the pinky finger are the weak fingers, so I think it's a really good habit to get into doing your A with your weaker fingers, because it's a very common chord and it means that it will promote muscle growth in those fingers. So that's my A chord. Strum the bottom 5 strings for that one. A D chord, which we also need in this one, so that's fret 2 on the G string, fret 2 on the thinnest string, and fret 3 on the B string. Okay, we're strumming the bottom 4 strings. And later on in the tune, then I'll show you this little embellishment that Dylan does. He does tons of embellishments, by the way, and I don't recommend learning it all like bit for bit. If you are going to do that and you're at that stage, then I think it's better if you do your own versions of embellishments on chords, just because he's a bit random and he'll do it differently every single time. So, later on, we may do a D suspended second. We will do a D suspended second where we'll lift up the middle finger to do the open E string. Okay, so they're the chords. Did I say 4 chords? I think I've only done 3. Well, technically 4 with that one. All right, so nice and simple. Really good for changing between those chords. So let's look at the rhythm for this one. Now, quite simply, the rhythm is down, 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 up, down, up. Down, 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 up, down, up. Okay, or if you prefer the numbers, 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. So let's look at that slowly with the D chord. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and down, 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 up, down, up. Okay, so the beginning of the song has 4 bars of D. So that means 4 passes of that rhythm pattern that I've just talked about. Obviously, it's a little bit faster than that. So it's down, 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 up, down, up. Okay, so if you've got that rhythm and that's going great, well done you. We're just going to make it a little more musical still, like I talked about in the intro to this video, okay? Now, one other little thing you can do to make this rhythm sound epic is when you do the first down, you just play the top 2 to 3 strings of the chord. These are called the bass notes. And then on the second down, you do a big thwack, a big hit. So you go down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down. And this gives a much more natural musical feel to the tune, especially when you're playing faster. If you take it with the G chord, it sounds really epic. Listen. Bass, down, down, up, bass, down, down, up, down, up. A little faster. Now, don't worry if you're finding that too difficult. If you are, then just stick with that rhythm pattern. Down, 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 up, down. I mean, that sounds good too. But if you can put in what I call the boom pow. Boom, pow, down, down, pow, down, down. Okay, great. So I'll deal with the intro in just a moment. Instead, I'm going to go straight into what happens in the chorus and take you through the chord order. So we've got 1 G, 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 A, D, D, G. I'm not D, and that G is an A chord, another A chord. So that's just one thing to note. Whenever you go to the A in the chorus, you do 2 of them. A to A. Then you repeat G and A and D and G and D and G. I'll come A and D. Another D, another D, and another D. So whenever you're going between a chorus, which is the Hey Mr Tambourine part, and a verse, you always do 4 Ds. And you're going to do it with this embellishment that I'm going to show you in just a moment, okay? So that gives you the rough order of the chords. G and A, D and G. I'm not D and that G and the 2 A's. And then G and A, D and G. I'm not D and G and A and D. Okay, so there you go. Pretty simple, you know, it keeps you on your toes there. It's just enough, a lot of fun. So now let's look at this embellishment that he does. Now, all it is he's lifting up the middle finger of the D chord, but it's when he's lifting it up in the rhythm pattern and when he's putting it back down again. So I'm going to play it slowly. So I am D, 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 lift up, D, 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 lift up, D. Okay, it's actually hard to say it like that. So I'll do it really slow again. Down, down, then lift it up, on the up, down, and then up at the end is when the D goes down. Okay, when you put the middle finger down. That little embellishment in, and as I said, Dylan does all sorts of others and he never does it the same way twice, but that's just a really fun one for you to put in, or you can stick with your basic D throughout. It really doesn't make much of a difference, I don't think. So that's our intro and our chorus. Let's have a look at our verses. I'm going to sing them out with you and then I'll sort of take you through the beginner sing and strum way of how to do it. So though I G and A has D to the G, D from my G left me D here to G, but still not A, and then another A, and G, A, B, and D on my G. I have D left Okay, so there you go, right? So once again, pretty simple chord sequence. G, A, D, and G, D, and G, D, and G, and 2 A's. And then that repeats. Okay, simple as that. Really nice and simple. Keeping that rhythm going of boom, pow, down, up, boom, pow. And that is it. It's really, really that simple. That is the whole song. It's like a lot of folk. It's kind of verse, chorus, in this case, chorus, verse. But that's all it does throughout. You can listen, as I said, listen to the original for those embellishments. And like I mentioned, you can drop the thickest string. If you're getting the hang of that, then drop the thickest string down to D. Okay, so make sure you take your capo off, tune it so that your tuner says D, then take your capo, put it on fret 3, maybe just have a quick retune and just double check that note is good, and off you go. You've got yourself a great song. Really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Keep on playing.